Mike Rice, Adam Bjaranson, and joined, as always, Kerry Eggers of the Portland Tribune. You a big Jimmy Buffett fan?
You know what? No, I'm
no?
Mike. I'd rather be doing something.
You'd rather be sleeping? Anything?
There has to be a football game on or something.
But there's a lot of those parrot heads in Portland.
That is true.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, it is a popular event. There's no doubt. 14 years of the Trailblazers not getting to the second round. Last year, of course, they break that with Dame's .9 second shot. They get into that series with the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs show that they are the best. It's what they do in the playoffs. The Trailblazers now, as assembled, do you think that they've got what it takes to kind of eclipse what they did last year?
Well, the best thing they've got right now, Adam, is stability, and as much as anybody maybe in the league. They went into training camp with virtually no questions, and you can say that a couple guys are fighting for rotation spots, but I really think it's going to be Robinson and probably McCollum as the 8th and 9th guys, and Joel Freeland will play some, but I think that they've got a chance to get beyond the second round. But the West, to me, looks. We say it every year. They're better, but it might be better again.
Yeah. And it depends on there's so much parity. It depends on matchups. You could play a team. Ooh, I don't want to play that team. We don't match up with them. Or you could play a higher rank because there's.
I think a great example of that, Houston, because I think Houston's got a really good roster, but there's going to be some teams that are going to have it over them, and they'll probably have it over the other team.
If you can slow down Dwight Howard a little bit, you have big guys that can do that, then you can beat them. I'm looking at my 8, and Memphis. I look at Memphis last 4 years. They're as reliable as any. They've made the playoffs every year last 4 years. They've advanced further than most teams would love to do. You're talking about the Blazers advancing. Memphis has been there, and yet Denver and Memphis, I don't have making the top 8.
I definitely agree with you on Denver. I think Denver's overrated. They've got a pretty good backcourt, but Kenneth Faried was terrific on the World Cup team, but I'm not so sure he's going to have that transfer over to the NBA. And beyond him, I don't like their front court.
Yeah, well, JaVale McGee, if he's healthy, he's defense.
Yeah.
He's terrible on offense, but, and the big Russian.
And I'm not sure, Mike, what to think of Memphis. I have underrated them virtually every year.
Yeah.
And I thought,
I do the Spurs.
Yes, exactly.
And both of us are.
The one team that I disagree with you on, I heard your predictions. I think the Clippers, and I know, last year maybe they were a little bit overrated, but I think another year under Doc Rivers, they've added some, Risa and some other guys. I think, and Sean Livingston, right?
Yeah.
So I think they.
No, that's the Warriors.
Oh, he went to the Warriors. Yeah,
you're right.
That's right.
But by the way, I like the Warriors a lot. I was looking at.
Do you like them as the number 1 seed?
Well, I don't know about that. I think I like the Clippers. I think they're going to finish with the best record. But I think Steve Kerr's going to do a great job with the Warriors, and they are going to be heard from before the end of the season.
Yeah, I don't love the Clippers. I just think the era of the alley-oop, the lob city, I think that's played out, and I think they're going to have to earn it now.
But where do you think they're lacking? Because I think they've got a good bench. They've got scoring. They've got pretty good defense.
Interior defense.
Yeah,
and Steve Hawes will really help them. There are certain nights that he'll come in. And
I doubt if Steve would, but I know Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer Hawes. Yeah.
Thank you.
The Washington. I should know that, University of Washington. But I don't know. For some reason, I just think the West, I watched them 3 games now, the Clips, and they're using their starters. Like Utah beat them. And they had their number 1 team in the whole fourth quarter, the Clips, and they were having trouble. And Utah's, if you look at Utah and the Kings, they're going to win some games.
They're going to win some games, but Utah shouldn't beat Portland twice in the preseason.
No. Yeah, well,
or the Clippers.
Yeah. That's but they have enough confidence. They are going to win some. That's why I think the Blazers are only going to win 52. I don't think they'll go 54 or above. I think they're only going to win 52.
Yeah, and the schedule is more difficult this year for the Trailblazers right out of the gate than it was last year. Let's keep with the Clippers just for a second. Let me ask you about Blake Griffin, and says that he's going to probably retaliate after all these hard fouls. Do you think that this is much ado about nothing, or do you think that he does get fouled harder than most guys?
He's not going to retaliate.
No.
If the first time he gets suspended for punching somebody,
when he has to take his pocketbook out, he won't retaliate.
A little different.
Adam, it's rhetoric, I think.
Yeah, probably.
And it used to be, you'd throw some punches. Guys you'd have almost like hockey. You'd have your hatchet man go out, and hatchet guys get paid too, and they don't want to spend money to the NBA, so you just don't have retaliation.
We should ask Frank Bukowski about that.
Right.
Hey, the NBA experimented with a 44-minute game last night. First of all, why are they trying to implement this? And I just don't see something like this getting off the ground. I want to hear from both you guys on this.
I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I would love to see the regular season shortened, but because of financial reasons, that's never going to happen. And 48 minutes, I think, is a good time. It's a 2:15 or so. A game is over from start to finish. That's not bad. You can compare that to a football game
or a baseball game.
Yeah, and if there's a real reason for shortening it, that'll really otherwise all your records are tainted.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Baseball, they say, well, have a popcorn, talk to your son, sit in the bleachers, and enjoy the 5-hour game. And, so it's like going to the dentist, going to a baseball game and staying the whole game. I love baseball, but I can't sit through a whole game.
Yeah.
I go to Dodger Stadium, and I 7 innings. Mm-hmm. That is it. I have a Dodger dog and the popcorn or the peanuts shelled, and I have my big Coca-Cola.
And you listen to Vin Scully.
And then I'm gone.
Yeah.
And a meatball sandwich if they've got that.
Yeah, well, you've been to games.
I have.
Kerry Eggers of the Portland Tribune joining us on Trailblazers Courtside. Kerry, what, Blazers specifically, what have you taken from the first, handful of games that you've seen here?
Well, it's funny. I have to confession here.
Yeah.
I've only seen him in the first game. I've been doing college football and stuff.
Oh, true.
But I haven't seen any big surprises. I think they're going to work on defense. No question, they need to improve their defense. And I just think I tell you who I've been impressed with is Chris Kaman. And I think if he can stay healthy, he'll really give him something off the bench.
Yeah, and he can do something now. When they were trying to get Spencer Hawes, they wanted a bigger stretch 4 than they had with Jarrell Wright. So, they had something in mind when they went after him. Then they get Kaman, and he does something that they didn't have, a guy that can win Aldridge. And L.A.'s not kidding when he says, I'm going to shoot some threes. He's going to go out and, that won't be the 70% of his game going out and shooting threes, but he's going to go out there. And if you have Kaman in with him, Kaman can work that inside. He's got great moves. I watch him in practice. He can spin left. He can spin right. I'm hoping the other big guys, Freeland, and they're working with Kaman every day, and Myers Leonard, they watch how he can maneuver. When he feels you on the left, he goes right. He does good things, so he's going to help him. The only problem is, what is his problem?
Health.
Staying healthy.
Yeah, he's 62
like 39 games last year.
The most he's played in the last 5 years is 62 games.
Yeah.
So you want to keep him healthy, and he's not going to be a starter. So I think mentally that's going to help him. He's going to come in. He's going to play with L.A. sometime.
Probably just 18 to 20 minutes a game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's perfect for him.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Expectations for LaMarcus Aldridge. I don't think there's any doubt that by the time this next season is over, he'll be in the top 2 in most statistical team records. Is there any doubt in your mind that he doesn't finish his career here as a Portland Trailblazer?
Oh, yeah, there's doubt. I mean, things change in the course of 6 months. I mean, I think right now he definitely intends to, but we'll see at the end of the season. The thing about LaMarcus is if he could just frame his last season and bring it back this year, I think all of us would be very happy with that.
No question.
I don't know that that's going to happen. And frankly, I know they talk about the new medical practices, but I think they're probably due for a couple of injuries to their starters, and that's why it's good that they're going to be a little bit better on the bench, and knock on wood. I don't know what Mike thinks about this, but I'm a little concerned about Blake too, and I think he's going to be a great locker room presence, and I love Steve, but I just wonder if he's a little bit too far on the downside of his career.
Well, It depends on his role, and he is. I mean, he's been in the league 12 years, so there's no doubt that. But he's so sharp mentally about what his role is, and that's really when he was here before. He was always battling somebody. The guy that went to Brooklyn, Jarrett Jack. He was battling somebody for playing time. Now it's set in stone what he's doing. And now what they have to figure out is C.J. McCollum. How, is he going to be a six-man to go in and score? All this talk about six-man, there's something to it because they have to find how to use him. They know Blake is going to come in and set up. He's their setup guy. Push it when you need to, set up. He's not going to take shots, whereas C.J. is just the opposite. He's going in there and they expect him to score, and he can score.
I'm a fan of C.J. McCollum. I think he's going to be a very good NBA player, and I think this year he's going to make an impact.
Yeah.
Does he have the most room for improvement off that Trailblazer bench? Is it himself or is it Will Barton? Are those the two guys? Who's going to replace the scoring load of a Mo Williams? So he's going to be the sixth man.
They won't miss Mo Williams simply. Now, Mo served a purpose. Bench was terrible, and he was the scorer. But Mo, defensively, Mo was too small. He didn't really care a lot about defense. If you were starting to go around him, he'd foul you. You weren't going to embarrass Mo. He was smart enough. He'd foul you. But CJ's scoring within the offense is much better than Mo's. Lillard's defense has improved. That's going to be the big improvement you're going to notice is Lillard going out. His mindset now is, all right, I've got this offense down pretty well. Now, in order to be where I want to be, I got to play defense. And I've watched him in practice. He's really working on trying to get over the top on screens, just doing the little things it takes to play defense. And once he starts, I think that'll help Nick and Wes steal. We were 30th in the NBA in steals. It's not set up but they'll get more steals because of Lillard trying to play more defense.
But I think the Blazers are going to miss Mo Williams, and I'm not really a fan of his game.
Sure.
But the NBA is about winning games, and there were a half dozen nights last year where Mo was on fire and really got him over the hump, and I don't see Steve Blake doing that. So maybe
I think CJ will be there at that time.
Yeah, I think he'll be the guy that'll get the opportunity.
Right, he'll get the opportunity along with Will Bart.
It could be by committee.
It could be Bart.
By committee.
It's going to have to be if the Trailblazers,